What's up guys, it's the Budget Bros here, and today we're going to be talking about the best GPUs to buy in 2024.
And we're going to be focusing on new graphics cards in this video. The used market is its whole separate thing, but new graphics cards right now are kind of hard to find in the budget territory. We're going to give you our recommendations after a word from today's sponsor.
Today's video is brought to you by FlexiSpot. As PC builders and tech enthusiasts, standing desks are vital to our workflow. I'm sure you're all well familiar with our main channel setup, and the highlight to the functionality of this setup is the FlexiSpot standing desk that is built around. FlexiSpot recently sent over their new E6 standing desk, and it measures in at 55 inches long and 28 inches deep. It's got all the features packed in you could want, like a bamboo tabletop, height adjustment from 24.4 inches low all the way to 50 inches high. Not only does this desk raise and lower with ease, it can handle over 20,000 actuations at a weight limit of 325 pounds. We use FlexiSpot desks everywhere in the office, and I mean everywhere. Like here, 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 and even here. We use them because they're the kings of standing desks when it comes to quality, reliability, and customization. Don't believe me? Well, believe in the 15-year warranty that the E6 standing desk comes with. To learn more about the E6 standing desk and customize your own, check out the links in the description down below. Big thanks to FlexiSpot for sponsoring today's video. Now, back to Matt and Jackson.
Now first up is honestly the cheapest new graphics card we recommend you buy right now, and that is the Intel Arc A380. You can find this card for as low as $100, and it competes pretty well with cards like the 6500 XT from AMD and the GTX 1650. Now it is the slowest out of those three cards. It is a decent 1080p low settings graphics card, but with Intel Arc drivers, we all know there are some issues in certain games. You might not get the best FPS in one game, and in other games that are well optimized for Intel Arc, you might get really good performance. Also, don't be fooled by the fact that it does have more VRAM than those other cards as well, coming in with 6 gigs of VRAM. It is a really capable graphics card, but it all comes down to how Intel is going to continually update the drivers on these. And we'll talk about another Intel card as well that falls in the same boat that's a bit more expensive, but Intel Arc is getting better, and the fact that they are still supporting them and doing updates and pairing this with something like an i3-12100 can make for a really awesome budget PC if you're willing to deal with some of the issues.
The next card is a card that we really like that's brand new to the market, the RTX 3050 6GB, not to be mistaken with the 3050 8GB, which has more VRAM and it actually has a pretty decent performance boost. The 3050 6GB has no external power requirements, it's $179 typically, and it comes in a low profile variant which we have been begging for those Optiplexes and similar builds. It is essentially the replacement or the predecessor to the GTX 1650, which they're getting rid of the GTX lineup anyway, so now we're going all ray tracing all the way. And really the only good comparison is a 1650. It's a little bit quicker than the 1650. You do have NVENC encoder, it's the newest version. It is GDDR6 only RAM, so you don't have to worry about getting an older GDDR5 card. And in terms of pairing, you can put it with something like the i3-12100F. You can put it with something like even as good as the Ryzen 7600 if you want a guaranteed upgrade path with DDR5. And this build will allow you to play 1080p, lower and sometimes even medium setting games out there, including esports and AAA titles.
Now let's talk about another Intel Arc card, the A580, which is a great comparison for the RX 6600, a GPU that is getting a little bit older now, and when there's another card like the RX 7600, which we'll talk about later, this graphics card makes a lot of sense because at $179, it's around the same price as something like a 3050 6GB, but out of the gate has more raw horsepower than the 3050 6GB, but again, it has a few issues. One, it does require external power, so this is more for your custom gaming PC that using a normal power supply, no office PC upgrade, that is the best use for it. And also again, it's Intel Arc. It's gonna have some issues. In some games, it's very equal to an RX 6600, and in some other games, it's closer to like a 1650 level card depending on the optimizations in the games. Now you are saving around $40 to $45 versus an RX 6600, and for most people that money could be put towards a better SSD or a better motherboard or a better CPU, and if you're willing again to deal with the trade-offs of Intel Arc, this graphics card is a good option to consider, and pairing it with like an i5-12400F or even Ryzen 5 7600 gives you a really good basis for an awesome PC out the gate and a solid upgrade path.
And next up is the RX 6600. We really love the 6600 and the XT variants as well because they just range in pricing all the time. You can get some really good deals here and there, but we recommend trying to snag the normal RX 6600 on the new market for around $200 or less. This is a really good card because it has 8 gigs of VRAM, it's GDDR6, and it performs similarly to something like an RTX 3060. Now, of course, course, it does have a more basic encoder, so doing things like streaming and stuff, the 3050 8GB or 3060 12GB might be a little bit of a better bang for buck, but in terms of raw gaming horsepower, it doesn't get much better than the RX 6600. And of course, if you're willing to go used, check out eBay, guys. You can get some really good deals on these 8GB cards. And in terms of pairing, you can really go all over the place with these cards. They're just so versatile. You can go as low as something like an i3 12100. You can go as high as something like an i5 13400 or even a Ryzen 7600 once again, to be able to actually play esports and AAA titles. And yeah, those AAA titles, you can actually play at 1080p on higher settings sometimes even.
And now for the newest upgraded version of the RX 6600, the RX 7600. Now this card is really awesome because it is very 1440p ready. The 6600 is good for 1440p, but the performance uplift to the 7600 makes it much better for 1440p gaming. You get all the new features of Ryzen 7000 series, you get AV1 encoder, and really at the price point around $249 to like $260, it's a really good graphics card that's probably the best option for a lot of you gamers out there. In terms of comparison, it's very close to the RX 6700 non-XT in terms of overall performance, and if you're looking at the market right now, they're very similarly priced, and for a lot of people, if you want to get the latest and greatest, have longer driver support, and get a card that again has a lot of cool features, the 7600 is a great option. In terms of pairing, we like this for a 1440p build with like an i5 12400, Ryzen 5 7600, or one CPU we haven't mentioned yet, the Ryzen 5 7500F. You could build a PC for anywhere between $700 to $800 pretty easily with this graphics card, and even stretch it to a $1,000 build that's really good at 1440p. This is one of our best recommendations for bang for the buck graphics cards right now, and the price is only going down with these AMD GPUs as newer ones come out.
This next one is kind of an honorable mention because some of you probably won't agree with it, but the RTX 4060. The RTX 4060 has had a recent price slash, meaning you can get it for around the same price as the 7600, and yes, the 4060 will not quite perform as well as the 7600 in terms of the raw gaming performance, but with DLSS and NVENC and whatnot, you have a lot of really cool technologies with these NVIDIA cards, especially the new RTX cards, because NVIDIA likes to make sure that only their newest cards have the newest features. And guys, we're the Toasty Bros. We literally do budget everything. I know we said we weren't going to mention used cards, but now that we're at the end of the video, we have to. The 1660 series cards and similar, so the Supers and the TIs, are so cheap. You can go on eBay, and we buy these things all the time for around 100 to 130 bucks depending on the model, and these are great cards because you can play at 1080p, and you're getting pretty close to that 3050 8GB, which, let's be real, almost double the price. So pretty good deals to keep an eye out for. And honestly, I'd always keep an eye out for all of these cards used because there's times where used market can be almost half the price as the new market.
So if you don't buy any of the graphics card we mentioned in today's video, check those links in the description down below. They will be affiliate links, and they will help us out. Let us know what you think your favorite budget GPU is right now in 2024, and I want to know what kind of build you're all planning with that graphics card. So let us know in the comments down below, and yeah, let us know if there's any other roundups you want to see here on the channel.
So as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, check out our other two YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/ToastyBros, and do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.
Now, all of these cards that we just talked about can be a little overwhelming, so you should check out PCBros.tech because you just buy a PC with the graphics card in it.
And a 1-year warranty, and awesome people who will help you out if you have any issues with your gaming PC build. And use code ToastyBros and check out, save 2% on your next purchase. I almost lost it there, but you know what? Professional. We're covered. See you guys later. Goodbye.